Good morning, witches. Oh boy, this is quite an interesting thing that's happened. Okay, so it's April 7th. My name is Dawn, and my business is Aurora Dawn, which is basically life coaching, spiritual life coaching for witches in particular. But I'm doing this over Facebook, back in my Facebook group, because YouTube has made a change, as usual. And there are some, sorry about that. This is all very wobbly, but the the problem with doing a Facebook video, live video, is because the videos cannot be, Facebook does not allow me to organize the videos. So I have a fan page that I can organize the videos, but when I post anything, I have over 300 fans, but when I post something, Facebook only shows a handful of people, and so nobody gets to see it. Um, so I went to YouTube because it's Facebook doesn't know how to reverse the mirror image. So even though my phone is set up so it's not mirror image, Facebook doesn't understand that or doesn't come across or something. So when I hold up a book, again, sorry about that, it's backwards. It's mirror image, so you can't read it, and it's very frustrating. Hey, Paula, good morning. And I don't want to put that there, it'll wobble again. So I'm doing this in the group, back into the group again, and what I'll have to do is, from Tennessee. I used to live in Tennessee. What part? I used to live in Memphis. So anyway, I will download the video and then put it up on YouTube. That way I can organize it, and it'll be easier to find. I'm setting up playlists. All right. So this has been a long journey, and I'm making some new changes for the better. And I'm very, very thankful for my friend, Spirit Wolf is her name. She's a psychic medium. And what I like about that is that she sees the people who are in my family, friends who have passed on. She can see them and get messages from them too. So not just my spirit guides. So I had a reading with her, and she said that I do not have a spirit attachment, but and those of you who have followed me for a while know that I had a falling out with my mother. She was very, she is very politically motivated. Politics is her life. She's absorbed in it, but she's very bitter and hateful. And she was saying a lot of hateful things about me to all her friends, and a lot of misunderstandings. She was assuming the worst in me and telling all her friends this is the way I was. So I had to cut her off. I mean, she just continued to attack me. So that energy is still stuck in my aura, because when I think about it, I still feel resentful. I still feel hurt that my own mother would call me ignorant and call me a self-righteous new ager and so on and so forth. But I've made some changes, and even voicing that right now, I feel different. I feel love for her. So I know what I'm doing is working. And what this will do is flush that energy out and away from me. So what Spirit Wolf said was that that energy from my mother that I'm hanging on to, that I need to process. And I've been doing forgiveness and processing it and trying to, basically what I came to the conclusion yesterday was that I was trying to get rid of her. She's my mother. I can't do that. It's not possible. She's biologically connected to me, and I'm to her. So it's not possible for me to get rid of her out of my being, if that makes sense. I don't feel that it's possible, nor do I feel it's necessary now. I realize that instead of trying to get rid of her, I need to send her love and focus on being compassionate towards her, and send out prayers. When I say my prayers, to send out that love to her, and that will help her heal. So instead of getting rid of her and having and her having to deal with her karma on her own. I'm sending her love, unconditional, pure love and light, so that it can help her heal. And that will help me whenever I think about all the attacks, that I don't feel upset. And what Spirit Wolf said is that it was draining my energy and it was causing health issues. So it's important for me to flush that out, the negative energy, and only focus on the positive, compassionate, instead of getting out my magical sword and trying to, destroy her. That's not going to get anybody anywhere. It's only going to make things worse. So what I want to do is to focus on love. So, I know you can't read this, but I finished this book and I highly recommend it. It's Free the Captives by Louise Ireland Frey, MD. So she's got a scientific background, which I like, but she's also very spiritual, and she understands that the spirit world exists. What I think is important about this book, if you're want to get into spirit attachments and helping people by helping them release that, and being a facilitator and releasing spirit attachments, you want this book because of the wording that she uses. How you talk to these spirits is very, very, very important. A lot of if you've seen movies about exorcism, or if you know anything about exorcisms, the priest or the pastor or the exorcist, whoever it is ends up standing in a very powerful authoritarian and yelling at this demon, and what is your name? I command you. She doesn't do any of that. None of that. She will get into a firm kind of attitude, but it's not one of I demand. Instead, she's working with this spirit, getting the spirit to feel comfortable and to release all the negative crap, and be open and feel comfortable and feel safe. And that's important for anybody. When you're communicating with anybody, if they don't feel safe, they are going to attack you. And you see them as attacking you, and you want to attack them back in order to protect yourself, right? I mean, that's just human nature. And that's the ego. That book is just very, very powerful. I'm starting to read this one. This is Shouting at the Wolf. And it's a guide to identifying and warding off evil in everyday life. And the author is Anderson Reed. So this is the book that I've started to read now. And this is about a very dark entity that was attacking the author. And nothing that I've ever experienced. Of course, I was a target of a psychic attack for a period of time, and the way I got out of it, because this person was very powerful and very experienced in dark magic, the way I got out of it and got to a place where he could no longer attach his energy to me to harm my energy field, was through self-mastery. The more I got into shadow work, self-mastery, shadow work, they kind of go together. They're interchangeable. The more I surfaced my own toxic beliefs and healed them, the less he was able to interfere with my life. And I realized something: energetic match. If something's not working out in your life, if you feel like a spirit is attached to you, or negative energy, or a thought form, or something like that, anything along that line, you've got to understand your own participation. And I don't want to say, because I've heard of people say, okay, you've got cancer. Well, why would you do that to yourself? What did you do to yourself? Why are you allowing this to happen? And that's the worst thing you can say to somebody, because we're unconscious of how we attack our own self. But I have to understand through my own experience that I somewhere, somehow, some place in my being, I am an energetic match to whatever is happening. And on that level, I am allowing it to happen. and also understand that whatever happens is an opportunity for you to learn. And I know that sounds horrible, you know, but God, why would I do this to myself? Well, it's an opportunity to learn. It's a lesson to learn. My experience is once I understand the lesson, I acknowledge the lesson, become conscious of the lesson. Most of the time, it dissolves. All the karma, all the negative stuff just dissolves once I recognize it. Like, for instance, with my mom, Spirit Wolf said, you know, you're that energy, you're still hanging on to it. And that allows that energy to, like a virus, to degrade my energy. And so when I acknowledged that and realized I was trying to get rid of her, and that's not really possible. I mean, I'm biologically attached to her. So when I switched to being compassionate and sending her love and filling my own body with love, blessing, 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 bless myself, bless my house, bless my mom, things all of a sudden change. I'm no longer energetically matched to that dark, toxic energy my mother was throwing at me. And I am free from it. That's how you get free. And then I am no longer an energetic match. So I look at other things in my life, um, for instance, health issues. Okay, how am I contributing? How am and I want to look at my toxic negative beliefs in craving sweets, craving simple carbs that I know is harming my body. Why am I doing this? Where is this coming from? So these are things I need to examine and find ways to change it and start focusing on what it is that I want. Okay, another thing Spirit Wolf said, and I find very, very important for me anyway, she nailed it on the head. I worry about a lot of things, and I picked that up from my mom. She always worried about money and whether we're going to have enough food and so on and so forth. So I picked that up from her, worrying about things. And what I learned through my own shadow work is that I worry because I don't have a plan. So one of the things I hate is setting goals and setting up a schedule, because everything always changes, and then I have to spend, it feels like hours trying to, okay, on Wednesday at 3:30 I'm gonna do this, and well, something else popped up and it's gonna push that out. So where do I put it? Well, I could put it on Thursday or Friday, but what if something else pops up? And then I got to spend hours redesigning my schedule, and I just hate that. Well, I think what works better for me, instead of setting a schedule, I know that doing a to-do list, putting it together, a to-do list, and sometimes I have to prioritize it because there's so much stuff, I can't get it all done in like a weekend, or I can't get it all done in the amount of time that I have. Prioritize it. So I make sure that I get the most important things done first. That Okay, we're back. Because I'm going through Facebook, it might interrupt because Facebook is just so. Anyway, okay, money. I used to worry about money all the time, and then I realized that worry means that I don't know what's going to happen. Worry means I don't know where the money's coming from, where it's going. I don't have a good handle on it. I keep it all in my head. Oh, I think I have about $324, but I forgot about a purchase that I made, some groceries that I picked up, so I really have less than that, but I don't have that in my head because I've forgotten about it. So having a budget, at the very beginning when I put together my budget, I had to look at it every day, sometimes multiple times a day. Multiple times a day. And every time I got worried, I'd open up my budget and look at it. And once I did that, once I knew what money, when the money was going to come in, how much was going to come in, what my expenses were, and how much I was going to have left over, I felt fine. I felt good. I was happy. I was back to gung ho. Let's go for it. Let's get stuff done today. And then whenever I start feeling worried about money again, I just open it up, and it was amazing. And then I got to a point where I didn't have to look at it so often, and it got down to like once a week. And now I look at it once or twice a week in order to plan for groceries and in like if a birthday's coming up, and there's something. Oh, I forgot. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So my new plan is for health. I'm gonna write it down. And here's the thing. I've done this and I've heard my friends say this. I need to eat healthy, but it's so expensive. Crackers are so less expensive than lettuce. Okay, I can buy a box of crackers and it'll be cheaper than a head of lettuce. And I've said this before, but the thing is how do you know? How do you know it's too expensive to eat healthy? I know that organic produce and organic items that I like to buy are usually twice as expensive as the non-organic. So I take that into consideration. It's getting into springtime. I'm gonna have my garden going, so I'll have some organic stuff coming out of there. So I'm not too worried about it. But in a meditation, I need to purify. I need to purify. So that's body, mind, and spirit. And a lot of times you clean out your body, it's easier to clean out your mind and your spirit or emotions and heart. Excuse me, but also the vice versa. So if you start cleansing your mind, like I've been focusing more on compassion and unconditional love towards my mother, that starts to change things. Now I really want to help my body, cleanse my body, make my body stronger, and support my body. And the best way for me to do that, for me, is to write it down. Okay, so I do these smoothies, these green smoothies. They're wonderful. They take a lot of work to do, but if I'm committed to doing it, I will do it. So I need to make a list of the ingredients that I want to put into these green smoothies and how much it costs. Then I take that and put it into my budget. And then when I do my grocery list, I incorporate that into my grocery list, and I know how much it's going to cost, and I know how much money is going to come in, and I can make adjustments once I have it written down, and I do it on Google Docs, and you can put a spreadsheet together, and I can keep track of everything, and I see everything. It's a bird's eyes view of my budget, all of my money, all of my expenses, and then I can make plans. I can make adjustments. I can pay less towards this credit card bill to free up extra money if I need to. Okay, so I'm losing my clothes. Sorry. Okay, so I've got to write it down. That is imperative. If you worry about something, take that subject, make a plan, write it down, and write down your goals and everything you need to do to accomplish those goals. And what's very powerful is once you reach that goal or milestones, I learned this in project management. Once you reach the milestone, you have to celebrate it and make it big. Go out to dinner or buy your favorite bottle of wine that you only buy maybe once or twice a year because it's so expensive or something. Or something that's not expensive that you don't do very often but is very exciting for you. Bubble baths or some kind of bath bomb bath. And I don't take baths often because I have a shower downstairs that I use, and Skip uses the shower upstairs that has a bathtub. I don't have a bathtub downstairs. So I have to scrub the bathtub and get it all ready, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that today because I want to purify, and the easiest way to start, because I don't have all the ingredients for these green smoothies, but I have some other things, and I'm going to do that today. I have this green powder. It's moringa, Moringa, moringa. It's this tree, and I don't know if it's South America or if it's in Africa, but it's so potent with nutrients, and they say that it fights cancer and it's very healing and all that. So I'm gonna do that today. It doesn't taste that great, but mix it with something. So, and take a bath, and I'm gonna sit down and write up a plan for improving my health. And I feel like when I improve my health, my body will feel better. I'll have more energy. And when I have more energy, I want to do more stuff and get more stuff done. And that makes me feel good. Then I can mark stuff off of my to-do list. And that is exciting. At the end of the day, you can see all the things that you got done. That is so exciting. I've accomplished something. I've done to-do lists. Oh my God, I've done to-do lists, and well, and I've seen how much I got done, and it just blows my mind. And I've gone through not through a weekend of having a million things to do, and I did not do a to-do list, so I did not write it down. And at the end, I was, Sunday evening, I was exhausted, and I felt like I only did a couple of things. So doing a to-do list gets me excited because I can see stuff. And that's what's important with a budget is you can see everything. You can see what you've got coming in, what you got going out, and you can make adjustments. And the same thing goes with like a business plan, and so on. So I'm excited. This is very powerful for me, I believe, that I think it's going to help me advance and move forward. So I have some ideas and things in my head. There's something called Patreon. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. Patreon will allow somebody like an artist or somebody like me who teaches classes to have classes available on their website and have like a monthly subscription, so like a membership. So I'm going to be putting together classes, but I can't use YouTube anymore. God dang it. So I'm going to probably use Facebook to record the video. So with YouTube, I have to have 1,000 subscribers, I think it is, before I can do live streaming on my mobile phone. Now I could use my laptop. I don't know why the mobile phone is any different than the laptop, but they said I could use my laptop and do live streaming, but the camera on my laptop is crap. It doesn't come through I don't understand it. So it works in other internet connections, great, but ours, it just, for some reason, it doesn't work very well. And it's pixelated and it's all jumpy and it's just messed up. So I got to figure it out. I will make it happen. I want to put together a pendulum class, teach everybody, who wants to learn how I use my pendulum using that program from Letter to Robin. And then there's Raymond Grace's book. I want to teach you how to use that. And I have some spell casting classes. I have several other classes that are just kind of rolling around in my head and that I've taught before. So I'm going to put those together on videos so you can, if you want to do the membership, you can have access to those videos and any written material, and you'll always have access to them. Okay, so that is what I'm doing, and I feel, if you know anything about chaos magic, something that I feel is imperative is to break down the old to make room for the new. So it's destructive, but it's a good thing. So it's like constructive criticism. It's constructive destruction. Does that sound like? Okay, so I want to break down my old way of thinking and destroy it, get rid of it, and bring in a new way of thinking that is more positive, more compassionate, filled with more love and blessing. This house that I live in used to be very noisy when I moved in. I blessed it. I was blessing it every single day. And then it was building up the energy, and I went down to once a week and then once a month. So now I do once a moon cycle. And it's quiet here now. I don't hear any knocking at midnight or in the middle of the night, and noises and stuff like that. It's all gone. So that is, I want to be more that way and focused on putting in energy and work into my magical life and expand that, make it more magical. And who doesn't want that, right? So you focus, whatever you focus on expands. Okay, so 5 more minutes left, and I want to open it up if Paula, if you're still with me. Facebook doesn't always tell me that somebody's still watching, or if how they're see if the way you connect to this live streaming makes a difference whether I can see you're on here or not. So give me a heart if you're still on here. And I want to hear from you if you have any opinions, questions. I'm open, and even if you disagree with me, I find it's very important for me to get that feedback, because that's how I learn. And people have brought to me, well, this is the way I did it, which is very different from the way you do it. And I get ideas like, wow, I'd like to try that. And that's how I learn. So I feel it's very important to hear feedback from people who are watching and following me. And I want to build a relationship. If there's something you're struggling with, maybe I can help you. So if you express that, I can give you some feedback back to you and help you with your issue. So something that is very important to me is that I have all the power within me to make changes in my life, to make my life very, very powerful, to expand my magical experience. Witchcraft is all about finding your own way. And we can read books and listen to other teachers and stuff like that and get ideas, but until you experience it yourself, it's not yours. And also, the source of my power is within me. I use tools in order to focus my power, my energy on making something manifest. And the reason why that's important is because energy is everywhere, and I could just send it out there and it'll go out everywhere. But if I want it to be more focused, it's gonna manifest a little bit better. It will be successful, more of a chance of being successful. Wow, took me a while to get to that. Sorry. But what I want to say is that using tools is a very powerful thing, because it focuses your energy and allows you to channel your power, your magical focus onto what it is that you want to have happen. So like a wand, you could program your wand to focus on what it is that you want and filter out the ego energy that is focused on defending you and being childish and selfish. You want to focus all of that out. All of the fear, you want to focus that out. So your wand can do that. You can set it up so that it focuses on what you want and filters out what is going to be harmful or create difficulty for you in your life, so that you can create what you want, what makes you feel, what brings you joy. That's what it is, the bottom line. Do what brings you joy. Okay, so I want to hear back from you guys. Thank you for watching this video, and I do value your opinions greatly. So give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think. Okay, so I'm gonna go for now, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Blessed be.